Hi, here we are going to create one more mobile application. So just go ahead and download and install Visual Studio, and ensure you have selected mobile development with .NET. So that it installs Xamarin, C# and .NET framework. Okay, once you have installed, maybe I don't know, for this machine I have installed the Visual Studio 2019 community version. So we'll see how to create an app on data binding. So just open the Visual Studio, click on create new project. So we are going to create a mobile app, so just select mobile app Xamarin Forms and then click next. Just use the same names, we don't want to change the names, okay, so just go ahead and create. Select the blank template and click OK. So if you see that it has both Android and iOS, okay, just hit OK. So this is the Visual Studio Solution Explorer window. So here we are going to write coding and create a mobile app. So the default is app1.android. So that is the one it's going to run. So that is set as a startup project. Okay, so the coding that we are going to write is going to be on main page.xml. okay, so just open the main page XAML file, and we have a stack layout, right? And here's where we are going to write a code. Okay, so here we are going to write two methods of writing a code. Okay, so first one is a normal way of writing a code. We are going to add a slider and a label, okay, in this main page.xaml file under the stack layout. So just copy paste, and the code is actually there in the command section, so you can just go and copy paste. So what we are doing is within the stack layout we are just adding two controls, a label and a slider. And in the stack layout we are actually setting the vertical and horizontal in the center, okay, so that in the mobile Android screen both the label and slider shows in the middle. Okay, so just save this file, click on save. Okay, now we have to write an event, so go to the CS file of this main page, and here if you see, under the initialize component, okay, which is going to initialize the label and the slider, after that you just set a manual value, okay, static value of 0.5 for slider. Okay, so the code is it's all there in the comment section, so you just need to copy and paste it and just execute. That's it. So we have a value change, there's an event, just right click and go to the definition, so it automatically creates this function. So when the slider changes, okay, the corresponding value of the slider will be pasted in label 1. Okay, this is a normal coding, which this is a normal way of writing a code, right? So it's nothing new, so just copy and paste it, and before executing this Android, just go and ensure that you just put a breakpoint in main activity.class file. Okay, I'm going to put a breakpoint in load application. Okay, so this is a breakpoint which helps you to tell that whether the Android works fine or not. Okay, otherwise it takes 5 minutes to show up the Android screen. Okay, so it's better to put a breakpoint and then validate. So this video is cut short for some delays. Okay, it takes around 5 minutes to show up the screen, so it may look faster, but it actually took for around 5 minutes. So just wait for the breakpoint. Okay, okay, now the breakpoint has reached. Okay, you can press F5 or go and press F5. That will execute the remaining coding, and you will see a label and a slider in the center of the screen. Yeah, you saw that. So whenever I'm going to change the slider value, automatically the value gets reflected in the label. Okay, this is a coding we have written. Okay, now we have created a mobile app, and now let's use a data binding concept and create the same the work. Okay, in the data, how the data binding works. Okay, it actually reduces the number of codings in class file. Okay, that's what we are going to see in the second method. It's the same activity, but we are just going to use a data binding concept. So data binding means the label and the slider, the value and the other properties gets binded, okay, in the XAML file itself. Okay, so that's what we are going to do here. So we don't need any of the event functions written in class file, and also these static value, we don't want anything. So we are not going to do anything in the class file. That's what. So we have deleted all the code which we have written in the class file, and all the activity which we have done in the class file, we are going to do it in XAML itself. So deleting the label and the slider as well. Okay, here is the code we are going to write in XAML file. Stack layout, it's already centered, so we just need to add a label and a slider. So here what we are doing is we are adding a label, but if you see a difference, the label has some binding, okay, and it referencing the slider. Okay, binding context is equal to x:reference slider 1. Okay, that's the difference we are saying. It's not a normal adding a label control. We are just binding the value of a slider in the label, and the text value is also depends on the slider value, and the opacity is also depends on the slider value. That's what we have given here. And slider 1, what is that slider 1? We are going to add this control. Okay, so we'll add that control. So text is taking the value of a slider, and it formats that value with 2 decimal F2 floating point. Opacity also takes the value from the slider, and we are giving a name for this label. Okay, now we are going to add a slider and another label. Okay, we'll see what is that label, another label why we are using it. This label which is the named as label 2 is actually it's holds the static value of 0.5, okay, which we have given in the constructor, right? So what we are doing is we are actually in the slider control which has a name as slider 1. Okay, the slider is referencing the label 2 and it's putting the value. Okay, so by default the slider will have a default value as 0.5 because it's a reference label 2, and opacity is 1, that is 100% visible. and the slider name is slider 1. And this slider 1 we are referencing for the label, the first label which we have created. Okay, it's a very simple coding, and so it actually eliminates the number of coding which we have written in class file. Okay, that's it. So just run the app, mobile app, and you will see the same output which you have seen. So this is a difference between data binding and the normal way of coding in the class editor. So put a same breakpoint and just execute it. You will get the same output, same functionality. Okay, now the breakpoint has reached. Just press F5. We'll get the same output with a label and a slider, and the default value of the slider will be 0.5, so it is at the center. If you move it, all the functionality remains the same. So we have used data binding instead of class editor. We have not written any event for that. So hope it's useful, and you can just copy the code and you can write a mobile app. Thanks for watching.